All right. Good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are, or good morning. Welcome to SpeedGaming 2. We are here with another 100% tournament race, this time between Behemoth and Maniacal. I will be commentating this race. My name is Christofalo, and I'm joined by Antimony. What's going on?
What's up, Chris? Good luck to the runners. What's up, Speed Gaming 2? Should be starting off momentarily. And yeah, we're in for obviously an exciting race.
I've heard of this Maniacal guy, but Behemoth, do you know who that is?
I think I'm familiar with both names. I know Maniacal was who you raced against last week
Oh, yeah.
in pretty much the closest match of the tournament so far. Am I correct?
You are correct. 9 seconds apart. It was a good race, let's say. You guys should go watch that after this one. It's definitely an awesome race. But watch this one first. But yeah, Maniacal, he is 54th on the speedrun.com leaderboard with a 1:23.17. Behemoth, what place is he at?
He's a household name of Super Metroid for like the longest time too, since doing runs on PAL. He's at a 1:13.35, I believe, first place.
13:35 is correct. Yep, first place. Following him is Shiny Zenny with 22 seconds to make up. So, we got the world record holder in here. That's pretty exciting.
So expect to see pretty much just about the most optimal movement strats on Behemoth's side.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. You know, I was talking to Maniacal before this, and he was saying, like, oh, it's not even going to be close. And, I mean, when you're facing somebody whose PB is 10 minutes better than yours, it's going to be a little bit tough, for sure. But, like with anything in Super Metroid, there are a lot of points where things can go wrong. I think if you're Maniacal in this situation, you're just hoping that Behemoth makes a huge mistake.
Yeah, that's also kind of tough when looking at 100% because although there is, especially for Behemoth, since considering his route to 100% complete this game, there are those chances that someone could die. He is hoping that nobody does, and there's also a couple of opportunities to soft lock or even crash the game, which isn't likely. That's totally preventable, but still, it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a few points of, I'd say, danger to watch out for both of these runners. I'm pretty sure Maniacal does the early Crocomile route, while Behemoth does the late Crocomile route, which is a little bit riskier. But like in 100%, you really don't have to worry about your health, and it's not particularly dangerous, except for a few points. I think the big things to watch out for are the Fantoon fight, for sure. Spiky Room of Death. I mean, we saw a death in the race Kekkoman Shoyu versus, I think, Professor School last week. And then there's a lot of points where Behemoth can soft lock as well, depending on how gutsy he's feeling with his strategies. So we'll talk about that when those come up. But it's not hopeless for Maniacal, but it is going to be very tough, especially with Behemoth already having about an 8-second lead.
Yeah, although Maniacal is well versed in this game as well. He's done incredible things for pretty much running I think everyone from Speed Gaming should be familiar with Maniacal's name, doing the Super Metroid Zelda 3 randomizer.
Yeah, Maniacal's been a part of the community for a long time, and he's very knowledgeable about the game. I was listening to his commentary earlier this week, and he was talking about some of the really old school runners, like Red Scarlet. His name that came to mind, and I thought that was really interesting. It's a name that I hadn't heard in a long time.
Yeah, Red Scarlet, the OG. Definitely shout outs to them. I know another OG that's recently come back and is part of the this 100% tournament is Hotarubi. So, I mean, we have a lot of names that I feel everyone in the community should be familiar with because they're all really good in their own regard.
Got some absolute legends for sure. Anyways, what's going on in the run? What are they doing? They're looks like they're making their way up the climb.
Yeah, they picked up the first 2 items of the run. Behemoth obviously showed a textbook example of the strat that Maniacal also used to climb up the climb, because that's how you name rooms.
Yeah, I believe that's called the Behemoth climb because, I mean, that's what Behemoth does.
Yeah, we had a thing where pretty much anything that Behemoth does, you just name it after him. Like this
Behemoth Spark
BT right now.
Oh yeah, Behemoth BT, that's my favorite.
Yeah, and that Behemoth on Morphe did.
That was a really good BT fight. What you saw Behemoth go for was 5 just regular beam shots and then 7 missile hits. He has to time the destruction of the projectiles there so that he can get ammo. Maniacal's going to go for the same thing. Having a little bit of trouble though with the ammo drops. So his fight will be just a little bit slower.
I do like that he opted to go for the pixel setup, just to kind of reduce the time between shots and just save a little time. It's pretty much saving frames on an optimal Bomb Chorizo fight.
Yeah, so they'll be making their way out through Alcatraz and then heading towards Brinstar to the first major sequence break of the game and grabbing super missiles early.
Yeah, if there's anything I know that Maniacal knows is he always knows to follow the progression. So Bombs definitely granted him that access to where Behemoth is now entering Green Brinstar. And we'll see the first sequence break of the game.
Yeah, going for this mock ball, sneaking under those gates normally requires speed booster, and then going for a spicy little damage boost. And then I like this one as well. This one's really easy to set up, but it looks very nice and saves time. Just spin jumping into the super missile and getting hit by the waver. You can buffer a damage boost right there, and that it saves you like a, not a whole second, but it's a good clean setup.
Yep, anything to deboost, honestly. Those are pretty tight windows when you're pretty much playing the game casually. Almost as tight. Well, no, a little less. Actually, no. I'm over here mixing it up. Wall jumps are 8 frames to get off, but deboost, depending on the projectile or enemy, they are a little tighter to try to execute.
Yeah, we just saw Behemoth do a really difficult trick. He did the mock ball coming out of the early supers room. That's really tough to get because you have to build up run speed in the previous room, and then as you're going through the door transition, right as you exit, you have to mock ball. Maniacal's going to go for the same thing. Let's see if he gets it. Just a little bit off, unfortunate.
Yeah, I think part of it, I don't know if could be just me, but that door transition feels kind of awkward. Because just given how little room you have to do that mock ball on the way out.
Yeah, and you don't have an opportunity to go back and do it again because you have the door transition, so it just wouldn't save any time. Anyways, Behemoth making his way down the green hill zone, getting a little D-boost off the, I don't know what you call those things, those flies, and then making his way across the new bridge. So he will be heading down towards Kraid. Some runners opt to go for the power bomb up there. It doesn't save time. It seems like it's a matter of preference, because then you can use it to grab the Kraid missile pack early. But if you mess it up, I think there's a lot more potential for things to go wrong. So, especially in a race, you kind of want to go for the consistent strategies. I don't think it's a strategy Behemoth does anyways, but just it is something he could have done, I guess.
Yeah, there's not really going to be any route divergence just yet. Probably when the runner is at least Behemoth is going to branch off like at around the 16-minute mark or so. Probably earlier because obviously he's like running really fast. But at that point, that should be when Behemoth is on his way to pick up ice, and Maniacal should be en route to fight Croc.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about the route divergences. If you're going for world records, it's better to go for the late Croc because it is faster. But there's it hinges on some very difficult strategies, including getting the spike suit consistently. So I think the difference between the routes is only about 20 seconds. So if you're just learning the game, or even if you're not even within the top 10, but you're still really good at this, I think early Croc is a better route. It's just more consistent, less danger.
Behemoth setting up for the Kraid quick kill here. Really good job being able to use 2 missiles to get Kraid to lockjaw, and then finishes him up with 3 supers, which totals pretty much enough to skip the stand-up animation, that phase 2 of Kraid.
Yeah, this is something that I talk about whenever the runners go for this. If they miss the Kraid quick kill, it's a big deal because it's just not a strategy that you practice. You don't practice doing Kraid slowly, and it can end up being kind of dangerous. So let's hope Maniacal misses the Kraid stand-up glitch as well. Going for the charge shot.
Yep.
Gives you a bit more time to set up. It is slower by frames than what Behemoth did.
I mean, I know plenty of top runners here that still opt to go for a charge. Which is really interesting as well. And I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah, Behemoth getting the nice mock ball out of Kraid's lair into the elevator room there. It's got a very small window as well. So, and he'll be getting high jump and an energy tank down here. Ooh, going down business center and not hitting any of those platforms. That's pretty tricky to do.
Maniacal following suit to pick up this Kraid E-tank right now. Meanwhile, Behemoth will be picking up high jump, which I know is a fan favorite for a lot of people. It just makes the game so much better.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you don't realize how useful it is until you try doing categories that don't have it, or doing randomizers. Like, one of the things that I didn't realize is that if you have speed booster and don't have high jump, it actually lowers your jump height from what it should normally be.
You really do take it for granted, because I guess because the game feels so floaty, you just kind of assume that Samus is always jumping high. It feels so natural. But if you were to skip it, and also because you get high jump early, of course, so for the remainder of the run, and even for the remainder, like if you're playing casually, you're still just gonna take it for granted and just unequip it once, and you'll see how much of a difference it makes in like later part of the game.
I would say in every part of the game. I've got a lot of catching up to do in terms of watching Super Metroid since I've been away for a long time. But I've been watching the old multi-category tournament, and there's a lot of low percent ice runs where they skip high jump boots, and even just getting up into that room before the cathedral, they have to bomb jump up there, and that's that's slow, and it's hard. So it's an item like you said, you definitely take for granted.
Yeah, so imagine, in such a case, for like randomizers or even bingos, where you would have to. Well, I guess mostly randomized, because if you don't have bombs, or you just have like power bombs, you can't really get access into that without doing some tricky deboost.
Yeah, it's tough. Fortunately, these guys running 100%, so they'll be grabbing every item in an order that makes sense. For the most part. Behemoth grabbing Speed Booster now, obviously an item. I mean, we can make the joke, haha. Speed Booster, Speed Run, go fast. Okay, but then he'll be grabbing Wave Beam.
Okay, Behemoth going full stacked. That's because since he's not going to be going up against Crocomire, and right after picking up Wave Beam, again, it's that route divergence. It's better to just farm there, because it becomes a lot tougher to farm once you have Ice Beam, and obviously that's routed in, but you just have to know when to farm with Ice Beam and such.
That's a really good point, because whenever I do this, like when I run early Croc, and it's not a big deal farming up supers here. I think you want 2. Like, you can get by with 2. You want more, of course, because then you can open up some doors later on with supers, and it's just faster. But you can totally get by with just having 2 supers in where Maniacal is and skip the farming entirely. But definitely, I'm not sure what Behemoth needs them for, so I'll have to pay closer attention. Not as familiar with the nuances of the late Croc route.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that it just pretty much plays out as an old route run for any percent, just with a few more green doors. Since you'll see right now, he's gonna go to pick up Ice, and then he needs another super for the beta power bombs that you'll see a little bit later. So just good to know.
Maniacal falling through the platforms there, and you know what? This is the thing about Super Metroid, is you got to know your backup strats, and Maniacal making it up no problem after falling down.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that you'll notice with these top runners is, of course, they're going to go for the best strats, but this game, the skill ceiling on this game is just, it's so high, and you're definitely not going to hit every trick in every single run. So you got to know your backups, and that'll just make you a better racer and a better runner in general.
I know for sure Maniacal can execute. It's like well adapted to pretty much be able to handle any situation, given his randomizer experience.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is playing other categories definitely helps you for all categories. And Maniacal getting 2 super drops there, that's really lucky.
Yeah.
It's not going to save him a huge amount of time, but it is very fortunate. It does save him time. Those enemies have a really low drop chance for supers, so he's really lucky with that.
For sure, if Maniacal is opting to try to use a good amount of those supers onto Crocomire, it would for sure save him some time. If not, he just doesn't have to farm as much on the way out, too.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. It's one of the things I talk about with 100% runs, is people always, or not always, but it's easy to ignore ammo management, because you're like, oh, I'm getting every single item in the game, I'll have enough ammo. But in this part of the game, you only have 1 super pack, and you don't get another one until after Fantoon. So you do have to be careful with how much super missiles you use. Maniacal taking care of Crocomire. You saw he got the opening missile and super missile strat. Well done. He'll be going for the, what do you call this technique here, where you shoot the door from the other side?
Oh, the reach around shot? Yeah, because all you have to do for this setup is hug that wall, angle up, and just let go of a charged shot. It has to be charged. And that will make sure to connect the door and open pretty much the door on the left side, which sets up also for a really beautiful spark.
Yeah, just reaching around on the other side of the door and managing to hit it. There's some technical explanation, but it's
yeah, it's definitely a clever name.
And like you said, we'll see him go for the spark. and he should, yeah, he gets it no problem. So that saves a bit of time, and we'll see that reach around shot later on as well, in criteria, and possibly, well, no, we'll see it in criteria twice when they're just coming out of the Billy Mays room, and in the ship room as well. That's the big one.
Behemoth now going to be pretty much celebrating October by entering this spooky ship coming up. Maniacal. All right, Chris, how do you really feel about grapple? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you hate to love it? Do you love to hate it? Like, what's...
I think it is okay. No, you know what? Grapple beam, it's really weird. It's an item that you would think it's a good item. You would think it works, but every time you try to do the intended strategies for it, they're actually way harder than the speedrun strategies. Like, you'll see Maniacal going for the Indiana Jones strat here, where he's going to be grappling these grappleable rippers. It's so hard to get the timing on this correct. Oh, he's like, oh no, he skipped it. Yeah, he got the missile pack, so he can just skip that strategy. So that's not a problem.
And goes for the best mockball in the game.
Yeah, that's a good one. You might see some grapple strats later on as well. Maybe in Meridia, maybe in... no, we will see him hopefully use that to get into Rex ship. But, I mean, grapple, if you play with grapple, you know, it's just... It's unwieldy. Oh, Behemoth already in Fantoon. Been focusing on Maniacal, grabbing grapple, talking about that, but Behemoth in probably the hardest boss of the game. He's coming up on the biggest points of danger in this run. I think he'll be okay. He has a lot of health in this Fantoon fight, so I'm not too worried. But he's going to be going for the Doppler strategies on Fantoon. Maybe we'll see Maniacal go for X Factors, or not sure. But Dopplers, if executed perfectly, can get a 2-round of this fight, which he gets. And I think he got like almost perfect RNG on that.
Yeah,
what a fight!
That was a killer fight. Behemoth went full Ghostbuster.
Yeah, you know, as someone who does the X Factor every time, you can get a 2-round pretty consistently with that, but I find with Dopplers, it's a lot harder. Your positioning has to be perfect, you have to be tapping that button real fast. It's not easy. And the other thing too, yeah, is sorry, I cut you off, but the dealing with the Fantoon patterns is it's tough. You know, you gotta, especially the fast one. I'm honestly always hoping for a mid or a slow, because you can predict them. But if he does a fast one, he just shows up and then suddenly he's vulnerable and then he disappears. So you got to be ready for anything.
Yeah, Fantoon RNG is weird. Just all, like, when he appears or when he stops, you know, moving around in that room is there's a fast, there's a mid, there's a slow, even to when he closes his eyes, or his one eye, Mike Wazowski looking thing. There's also, they control you with a fast eye close or a slow eye close. You know, you have all the time in the world to get your charge shot in, or your missiles. Also, nice job, Behemoth, getting through one of the most scariest part in the room, or of the run, but he's not done just yet.
Yeah, those spiky platforms deal 100 damage if they hit, which will instantly kill him. Yeah, and we saw Behemoth actually, because he doesn't have grapple here, excuse me, he can't just grapple across like you're supposed to, and instead has to do a clever little bomb jump there. Maniacal posting in the chat, looks like he's on PB pace.
Yeah, he's been looking good. It's really good form that Maniacal has right now.
Yeah, actually, Maniacal got a PB a week ago, so he's been cutting his times down pretty consistently lately.
Plus, I know from when I spoke to him last night, he pretty much had a whole stream dedicated to just doing practice. So he really does want to put up a good show, and that he is doing. for the sake of speed gaming, chat audience, and even himself, he has a lot to be happy about right now.
Yeah, definitely. We see Behemoth going for a nice little damage boost in vulnerability frames strategy here. This room, like, you can clip through the worker robots, but I find it's really inconsistent. I can't even explain how you're supposed to do it because it never works for me. So
I guess essentially, yes, you want to be able to jump into them as you're taking a step forward while you have iframes. So that's kind of like your best bet, or even just moving into them. But as you saw you saw Behemoth roll right through. But yeah, it is still tricky. Like sometimes you are not guaranteed to get through just because of how high you jumped or not enough like speed. It's weird.
yeah, it's a tough one. And another thing Behemoth is doing is he's managing his health really well because he wants to have a lot of health coming into the ship room so he can skip the 14 seconds at a refill there, making sure that he has enough energy to do the criteria spark. I don't think he took damage in that attic on the way back. That was masterful.
Yeah.
Going for a shine spark here, probably.
No, he's setting up. Oh, sorry. He's
it's this strat.
Yeah, the robot flush. Which pretty much is only doable with Spazer on while you have wave, of course, because the wave is the beam that goes through walls. And there's like certain positions that you can use to pretty much aim for the work robots that are right below the spikes. And pretty much the ultimate goal is to have both robots in their respective little holes, so that you don't have to wait for them. You don't have to wait for them or even like try to shoot them down. We'll see right now if he got it, which of course he did. Feels like a magic trick almost, seeing that, because you're like, wait, how did those get down there? When you expect them to be in your way.
Yeah, it's one of those things where these runs, they just are so optimized where it's not even something I would think about, honestly, if I was writing this game. But there's a trick for every single room. Unfortunately, Maniacal, having a little bit of difficulty with Fantoon, fired the super missile just a little bit too early. Fantoon does take double damage from super missiles, which is great. But unfortunately, if you don't kill Fantoon with a super missile, he has an 18-second enrage there, which, I mean, it's 18 seconds. That's bad. Wrapping up the fight with one last missile there. So I'm sure he's unhappy with that, but I mean, it's all you can do to just keep going.
He's hoping more time saves though coming up, and Maniacal should be familiar with what is doable, so maybe he can still surprises and come out ahead of his PB. And now Behemoth heading towards the landing site to pick up criteria power bombs up here at the corner. He has just the right amount of energy. He might take a little bit more damage as long as he has there you go, 2 tanks.
That's a strategy. I haven't seen that before. That's a good one. Coming in with that speed ball. What do you call that? Just bouncing through that room. That was very impressive. Oh, and going for the second shot there, reaching the door from the other side there with his beam, and you see him filling up his reserves as well, just because he wants to do the entire spark here in one go and stop at a certain point.
Yeah, so it's important to know the reason why he jumped and does the return shot that way is because Behemoth does not have an angle down binded to any of his controller inputs. So he pretty much just devised a different way to go ahead and get that going, because you do need to angle down for that reach around shot. Really good crumble shaft there for Behemoth. And At this point, I am willing to just say that he's in the clear. There should be no point that he should die. It is pretty difficult to die. There's nothing that does a lot of, damage. You're going to be picking up E-tanks along the way to refill you as well. Unless you just have that... Well, I don't even want to speak about it, but Dragon is awful.
We saw actually in again, Keku versus Professor School last week.
Yeah.
This week, when we saw an incredible amount of chain damage on the Dragon kill. I mean, that's pretty unusual, and you can take steps to avoid that, I think. But I mean, it is still a risk. And Behemoth, it isn't so much a risk of dying at this point, but rather a risk of soft blocking. There are points that it can happen, like in Meridia cleanup, Mother Brain. But if he plays a little bit carefully, he can avoid those pretty easily. That's another thing. It's going to look like Behemoth is way ahead, and he is very likely ahead. But because they took different routes, Maniacal doesn't have to go back and kill Crocomire, but Behemoth does. So that's going to be a couple minutes there as well.
Yeah, I pretty much kind of offset about like 3 minutes of a difference. Well, I guess since Behemoth is a little bit more of an... He's pretty much, the world record holder. It'd be like 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So kind of look at it as adding 3 minutes right now to his time. And that's kind of in comparison to what Maniacal should be getting. Like, he should be reaching wherever Behemoth is right now, like in 3 minutes or a little bit more, and that will kind of give you a gauge.
Behemoth doing the cleanup in the big pink area of Brinstar. He's going to be going for a nice little strat called the Mission Improbable, I think it's called. He's going to be taking care of those side hoppers and quick falling through the block there. And once you see this screen, I mean, you know you've got the strategy. All you have to do is hold right and A. People think the strategy is hard. Don't get me wrong, it's not easy, but you can just if you have that screen, you just hold right and jump, and then you will jump straight up, and you have a perfect setup for the wall jump out of there. It looks really impressive.
I'm just glad you jump with A like I do.
Oh yeah, that's the button. That is the jump button, for the record.
Yeah.
Maniacal in the bowling room. He's got about 30 seconds here to open up his phone, check his social media, check the races, maybe even check his online dating profiles. I don't know.
Yeah, Behemoth right now set up for the Spore Spawn. Skip right there. So nice callback to your original meme, by the way.
Thank you. I haven't referenced it yet, so I figured I had to at least once in the tournament, and I figured this was the match to do it.
This feels like it should have been the match, and lo and behold, you pulled it off.
But you know what? Those are old strategies. We got new strategies now. New strategies are just take a drink of water, take it easy, just relax. Do whatever you want to do in that 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, there's like no reason for Maniacal to really check his onlyfantoons.com. He's perfectly fine here on SpeedGaming and Twitch. There's nothing more that he should do.
Exactly. So he's going to be grabbing Gravity Suit now, the swimsuit. Behemoth making his way out of Big Pink. He's headed to Meridia next, which is, I think for 100%, it's pretty frustrating. The rooms are laid out in a way that it seems like there's no real fast way through them. Like, it seems like the game designers designed that part for exploration, and getting items, it feels very slow, and there's so many, the geometry of it, you can bonk on the walls everywhere, and it just slows you down. So it's one of my least favorite parts of the game.
Yeah, I actually do want to agree with that. A lot of the mid game and even up to late game, like from here on out, whatever Behemoth is doing is like that blockbuster. That's the name of that strat.
Just busting those blocks with the speed booster. That's a very hard strategy to get, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the type of strat that bails a blockbuster out of bankruptcy and just has them come back with a booming business, booming revival.
There's a lot to talk about in this run. Honestly, I'm going back and forth between these two runners, and there's a lot of strategies that both of them do that I haven't seen before. And it's one of these things about this game is that there's a strategy for every room, and it's optimized, and none of them are easy. None of them are just like hold right or hold left. There's multiple inputs. There's multiple things that you're doing at the same time. Managing your ammo, managing your energy. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, Maniacal just displayed a really good energy management right now as well. Having enough energy to Gauntlet Spark and pick up this tank right here. And his setup for the return shot was also super different because he unequipped Spazer, which is the best decision any runner could ever make, and had to set up in a certain pixel to get that door to open from the right side.
Yeah, without Spazer, it is pixel perfect, so it can be a little bit frustrating if you don't get it for the first time. And he's got the gauntlet missiles as well, so no problems there. Behemoth heading towards Crab Supers. He'll head up towards Waterway. Waterway? Is that it? No, Watering Hole?
Oh, Watering Hole, yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, and then the beach missiles as well. Maniacal going for the Maniacal, as it's called. This is a new strategy where you just open the door now instead of later. Saves you a super later.
Yep.
Nice little D boost from Behemoth off that fish. One of the things I hate about this room, the beach I think it's called, is if you run to the left and try to get up to the next room, there's a little shelled creature that sometimes pops up and just stops your momentum. And this room here, this room sucks. I hate this room, to be honest. The one that Behemoth just did. It seems like there's no fast way through it. This is what I was talking about with the Meridia geometry. It's just so easy to get stuck on things. And that one, it feels like you have to morph in and out. You have to be doing mock balls. You have to be running at the right points and stopping at the right points. Otherwise, it just kills all your momentum and you lose seconds.
Yeah, that's mid game. It's crazy how much time you can hemorrhage in 100%.
Hemorrhaging time. That's what happens throughout the course of the run. That's the phrase I like to use. You're hemorrhaging time everywhere.
Yeah, legit, because I feel like the whole run you're pretty much playing catch up. At least that's what it feels like to me. That you're always behind, or at least this feeling of feeling behind. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the run is so long. But it's fun no less because you do get immersed in every single section, every single room. So I know why it can be a favorite category for some people.
Behemoth going for the classic X Factor setup on Fantoon. I like that a lot. I see a lot of people doing this decalled setup where they swing the X Factor particles from right to the left, and usually it lines up perfectly, but sometimes you miss it. And obviously when the X Factor particles are flying around, you can't shoot, so it really slows down that fight. I like the class-up setup that Behemoth just did. Ooh, Maniacal not going for the Mission Impossible, and Behemoth getting the full halfie, no problem.
Yeah, not going for Mission Impossible is actually still... Well, it's how a lot of people used to do it, but it's not like the biggest deal of not, to not get the Mission Impossible. It's a lot of knots I just used.
Yeah, he wasn't even trying for it because he didn't kill the side hoppers in that room. So I mean, if you're planning on skipping the Mission Impossible, it's like I don't know if it's a second or less. I have no idea. I don't
Not the
think.
biggest deal.
Yeah. We're gonna see Behemoth. I hate this fight, the Dragon fight. It's so hard. This is why I like 100% old route because not old route, early Croc, I guess, because you have grapple beam and you just let Dragon grab you and then you zap her to death and that's it. But Behemoth doesn't have grapple beam, so he's going to be using a combination of X factors and speed booster, Shine Sparks. Oh yeah, and he got it. Like going for the spike suit. Did he get it?
He did.
Wow, so he's going to get reverse halfy as well. This is like really impressive.
It's up 40 time at Space Jump.
That's time.
Maniacal now heading over to a waterway. After picking up these missiles that sometimes get missed if you're not used to running 100%. You just kind of tend to overlook them.
Yeah, I mean, they're right there. You shouldn't miss them. You go past them twice. But for any percent, you pick them up the first time. And 100%, it's faster to pick them up the second time around. But the time save's just, it's so marginal. And if you're used to running any percent, you're probably going to miss them a couple times. Maniacal in the waterway, that's what it's called. Meanwhile, Behemoth heading down the sand pits, getting the nice damage boost there as well. I like that one a lot. You can get the damage boost from the little, I don't know what you call it, the squiggly jumpy thing up there, but you can get off those little ooh, what's he doing?
Yeah.
But he actually went for the damage boost in the sand pit on those, what are those called, bulls?
Yeah, they're called bulls. Let's call them coughings.
Coughings, yes, that's it. And we saw Behemoth also going for a strategy where he got the speed echoes and did a speed keep there. I thought he was going to jump and go straight for the aqueduct items, but he just fell through the speed blocks there, which is faster than just going around. This is one of the points where you can soft block if you're not careful. This is just like one of the points of danger in the run. So we'll see him get that on the second pass through that area. If he goes for the optimal strat, I mean, he does have the potential to soft block there. Going for the ice clip now, getting it first try. That's what makes this route possible, and allowing you to skip grapple.
Yeah, and the intended method is in the room prior to. Well, I mean, it's the same room. Honestly, I can't even say it's the room prior. But what you're supposed to do is use a grapple to break a block, and pretty much just kind of take the upper route and go all the way around. But with a pixel perfect setup, Behemoth just goes ahead and does away with that with a really neat normalized setup for it.
Yeah, and he's waiting for Shaq Tool to do his thing. It's another good opportunity to take a quick break, calm the nerves a bit, or you know, get hyped, whatever you want to do.
Maniacal with the entrance, well, soon to be here, Mama Turtle, and Behemoth's picking up a fan favorite, that spring ball.
Yeah, Maniacal missing the spark the first time, and I like this a lot, is being able to charge, doing a short charge in the Mama Turtle room. That one, it's not crazy short, but it is difficult to get a short charge there consistently. Otherwise, you have to open up the door and do that door transition again. So it's a nice little backup from Maniacal there. Behemoth heading up the toilet right now.
And the reverse flush. What's your favorite super missile pack, Chris?
That's a tough one. The only ones that I can remember are, I mean, like the first three that you get in 100%. There's early supers, and then there's the 2 in wreck ship. I'm gonna go with the early supers. The I don't even know what you call them. The first super pack you get, that's the best one, because then you have super missiles.
Oh, so Spore Spawn missile supers. Gotcha.
Yeah. So after you fight Spore Spawn,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I do.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
This is another thing. I'm going back and watching the old tournaments, the multi-category tournament, and didn't even know there was an all bosses category, but I guess it makes sense where you have to go fight Spore Spawn. I mean, come on. What a waste of time.
I guess you bring up a good point that you kind of just you tend to just overlook what every single item is because you just know the objective is there's an item here, there's an item here, pick those up, who cares what they are, usually have enough ammo.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you don't really worry about your ammo management because you just assume that you have enough. But there are points where it does matter. I mean, like, they're not going to be using a lot of super missiles except on Ridley. And that's going to be the point where if they use too many, they're going to have trouble in Turian. So they do have to manage it a little bit. Another thing that they have to watch out for, and this comes up so infrequently, but it does come up because you do use power bombs a lot in this run. And you can get a little too trigger happy with those and run out of them in lower Norfair, and that's a really bad spot for that to happen.
I mean, another one that can happen, because I've had a run die like this, is you can literally have 0 supers to head up to going to pick up plasma after Shacktol. You do need a super to pick to open up the door.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that in a race. I think it was last week where a runner actually had to go through towards the exit to Meridia and farm those the Zebs, whatever they're called. That's a huge time loss. Anyways, these runners will probably be okay. They know what they're doing. They practice this category like crazy. As long as they're at least slightly mindful of their ammo, they shouldn't run into any problems. We see Maniacal probably going for the halfie right now. This is a hard strat to get. Ooh, and he missed the last wall jump there. That's too bad.
Oh, still good attempt. Honestly, I applaud that.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I like seeing a good Coliseum backup because it's not something you see a lot. It's not something people practice because people just assume that they can get the full halfie. You can't get the full halfie every time. You're not going to get it. And if you're not practicing it, you're going to lose a ton of time in this room. So I like the little backup from Maniacal there.
Maniacal, yeah. I don't like the Precious Room, or at least in 100%, because it is a little bit awkward. Especially, see, like that. Like what? It's just all those gaps.
That's what I keep saying about Meridia. You're just going to get stuck on the geometry everywhere, and that's one of the worst rooms for it. There's no space to charge your speed in that room. So I mean, I opt to go for grapple in that room because I think it's the fastest way to do it. But I mean, grapple it's hard to use as well. I'm curious to see what strategy Maniacal is going to go for on Dragon. Is he going to go for the grapple or is he going to go for the Shine Spark?
Yeah, the grapple would be a good backup.
Looks like he missed the X Factor.
Right. And the short charge as well. That's what led to that. Oh no, it looks like he's going all ammo, which makes sense because really Dragon is just about 20.
That was a great Dragon fight.
Yeah, really good job, Maniacal. Just killing it, just serving up dinner for those baby shrimps. But as I said, I guess casually Dragon seems like the worst, having to fight with ammo only, but it really is just 20 supers or 16 and whatever Maniacal just did.
Behemoth unfortunately bonking the door there, so that's going to be a couple seconds, not preserving his speed. But he gets the next jump through this refill room, skipping the refill as he should, and he's going to be heading towards lower Norfair. Maniacal getting the what do you call it? The Womple jump? Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
What?
There's only a Burger King. I'm just kidding. I'm thinking Whopper. But yeah, Swaggy jump right there without losing momentum coming out of the precious room.
That's a tough one. That's pixel perfect.
No, I think you do have a fairly. It just depends on when you space jump out of the water.
Right, I find it tough. We're going to see Behemoth going for the, I don't know what you call it. Most of these strategies,
fireball.
honestly, blue fireball, that's the one. Yeah, perfect. So you can use Spring Ball to preserve your momentum when you're going fast, which makes it just a really useful item in this category. And you saw him preserve his momentum through that lower Norfair entrance room, and preserve it all the way through the lavatory here, straight into the arms of the Chozo statue. Bird, yes, straight into lava.
Yeah.
And going for a risky strategy there as well, because if you fall through those crumble blocks that he's about to, and before collecting the missile pack, you have to go all the way back around. That's at least a minute time loss. So if you just hold Spring Ball, you are in Spring Ball and hold A, you have no problems with that. You'll never fall through. But he goes for the crazy risky strategy, of course.
Really good fight there, GT fight.
Yeah, I think Behemoth might be the only person who might have interactive fight with Golden Chorizo, because most people have a control scheme that lets you just aim up while crouching, but I believe Behemoth does not for some reason.
Because he doesn't have his angle down binded, that's why. Because in order to get a damageless and I guess safer fight, you have to crouch and hold angle up and angle down, and that gets you to aim up while crouching.
Nice little short charge from Behemoth, and he gets fast pillars, no problem. Maniacal grabbing Spring Ball, or on his way. He's going to be hanging out with Shack Tool for a bit. Really nice worst room in the game for Behemoth. I mean, it's not really the worst room in 100%, but it's not fast necessarily. So I like the Behemoth really utilizing his ledge grabs there. That's one of the things that when people talk about clean movement in Super Metroid, I think that's one of the biggest things, is doing those ledge grabs perfectly. Saves a lot of time.
Right. Pretty much just being in the air the amount of time that you need to, at least if you're going vertically in a room. I don't know. Just everything just seems so calculated almost in terms of gameplay.
Nice little down back there. I don't know if you caught that, heading down to Ridley's lair so that he could skip bonking on that platform at the bottom. That was really nice. And yeah, Behemoth's fine for power bombs. Ammo management, no worries. Maniacal just grabbing Spring Ball right now.
Yeah. I do remember when this was a validation item. And I mean, why the heck not? I mean, it's Spring Ball. You can do everything you want. It's literally,
You can spring, you can ball.
Yeah.
Behemoth trying to clip through those spiky platforms there. If you morph at the right time while falling through, you can clip straight through it, but missing the second one, unfortunately. Grouping these metal pirates so that he doesn't have to wait for them to turn vulnerable separately. So that's a really nice strategy there. You see some people go for a speed booster strategy there and Shine Spark, but I think it's faster if you just have the Plasma Beam like he just did, just because you don't have to wait for the crash animation. We'll see how this Ridley fight is. Ridley, not a hard boss in 100%. He's not going to kill you because you have a million energy tanks, but your beam shots can get caught in his tail, which, I mean, you want every beam shot to hit. Behemoth getting every single pogo that he needs, using some super missiles because they are faster, easier to hit. What a Ridley fight.
That was really good. That's incredible. Also, I wanted to shout out Maniacal right there for doing a crazy good pancake room, entering the plasma pickup.
Yeah, so Behemoth going to be making his way out of lower Norfair now. Meanwhile, Maniacal, I mean, he's a little bit behind, unfortunately. Behemoth on an incredible pace. Don't know how well Maniacal's doing relative to his personal best, however, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's on a personal best pace as well.
As long as Maniacal was able to make up that time that he ended up losing at the Fantoon fight, because everything else has been pretty solid.
Nice wasteland from Behemoth. Nice ledge grabs from Behemoth as well.
Remember how we were talking about how everything's just named after Behemoth?
So this is the Behemoth room, yeah.
Yeah, Behemoth D-boost coming up right here with the Behemoth landing here on this bug. And the Behemoth ledge grab. Yeah, the Behe bug. Like, look at all this Behemoth.
He's skipping the Behemoth Namahaze, no worries.
Through the Behemoth door, with the Behemoth space jump, into the Hodoruby. This one's the Hodorubies. Oh, well, nope, never mind. The Behemoth...
The Behemoth special.
Screw attack into a wall jump. Yeah, Behemoth special, there you go. Oh my god.
You can't take the Hodoruby special away from him. He's an absolute legend. I wouldn't joke about that.
No, not at all.
Maniacal grabbing the last few items in Meridia as well, making use of that spring ball, and then he'll be heading towards lower Norfair. Behemoth heading towards the Behemoth missiles.
I'm telling you, everything. Just, it's like Behemoth is the Millhouse of Super Metroid, but you know, if Millhouse was like really, really heckin' good, you know, and respected. Although Behemoth, he does still have a little bit more to clean up in Norfair, upper Norfair that is, because after these 3 items, he still has to fight Krogmire, so let us not forget that.
Yeah, but the Krogmire fight is extremely easy with Plasma Beam. We saw Behemoth doing a nice little damage boost in the Bubble Mountain. I like that one a lot because it requires you to basically turn off your screw attack. Not turn off, but stop doing the screw attack for a second or two while in midair. And if you miss it, you fall all the way down, so that's at least a second. Maniacal grabbing the Kraid missiles. I think he's on pretty good pace.
I think I kind of want to start saying stop doing the screw attack instead of like breaking spin.
That's what it's... Well,
it's just
he
like,
did stop doing the screw attack.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It doesn't get any more descriptive than that, honestly.
I mean, yeah, breaking spin could be ambiguous.
Yeah, it's like...
I'm here for the viewers.
It's like a knockout version of Breaking Bad.
Ooh, nice little wall jump there.
Yeah, that was clean Bubble Mountain there.
Maniacal picking up his Ice Beam, heading towards lower Norfair. I really like this strategy from Behemoth. This is a really wild strategy, using a super missile to knock the cement Geamer, I don't know what they're called, down with you, and then using it to damage boost in the next room, just to give yourself that like extra edge to go just a little bit faster. So Behemoth will be doing Crocomite right now. This is not a fight. It's not a thing. It's there. It's done. Cool fight.
Yeah. The Behemoth Crocomite fight.
Yeah, I'm picking up the Behemoth E-Tank.
And, well, I guess there's no real reason to wait, unless he already did it, opening...
Ooh, Maniacal getting that speed through this above Krogmire. I don't know the names of the rooms, okay? But keeping his speed through that room and keeping his speed just after the refuel station as well. I find that just a little bit tricky because it's easy to bonk on the wall and lose your momentum. Did he get the spike suit Behemoth there?
He did. Yeah, he did.
All right, well, this is a run.
Maniacal about to enter the dragon.
Anything like if you're entering lower Norfair with a sub-hour time, I think that puts you on a really good pace. I think you can be on pace for 123 if you're at that point.
I just saw his timer barely go red, so I'm pretty sure he's like slightly, like a second or two behind PB pace. So Maniacal, again, making up all that time that he lost in Fantoon, doing a really good job, still keeping on pace.
Maniacal heading through the lavatory. Flushing that acid away. Oh, a nice little spring ball strategy too. Yeah. I like
that. Maniacal, learn me, please. Also, do you see just how Space Jump is the better item? It just makes everything so much easier. It made Indiana Jones, not an issue. Not having to do some tight little spark over to the Crocomire PBs.
Behemoth getting a nice little spring ball there as well in the cosine room. I stand by. I think this is a sine wave, but I mean, there's a lot of math majors in the chat, so we're not going to go there. I take it back. I don't want to have this discussion.
You're about to.
No, it's done. We're moving on. Maniacal grabbing screw attack. He had a pretty good GT fight there. He'll be going for fast pillars, probably. Or a nice little screw attack there.
As long as he has the speed, really, it's fine, usually.
Nice worst room in the game for Maniacal. Also some nice ledge grabs there.
So I do also want to point out that at this point, Behemoth is pretty much back on, like, that's where the route converges, going up the Norfair elevator. So there's nothing else different that Behemoth will be doing, that Maniacal wouldn't be.
Nice little Behemoth spring ball there.
Yeah. I'm glad you caught that, because that one's a really important one. It's one that he's known for.
He'll be going for the... Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
Right,
keeping
so he's
suit all the way from Crocomire. Wow. Nice Behemoth spark. Behemoth picking up the worst item in the game. I can objectively say this. This is the worst item in 100%. You already know where the items are. Like, you don't need it. And the problem is, when you scroll through your items, that's the fastest way to navigate through them, I think. And then you just end up accidentally selecting X-ray, and then you just freeze in place, even if you're going super fast. I recently just got a new controller. My old controller, the select button didn't work, so I didn't have a way to do item cancel. So, at this point, for me, the run just fell apart every time because I would just select X-ray.
X-ray, here's what I think X-ray is. X-ray are those mid-stream ads that Twitch rolls out now. That's what X-ray is when you're trying to menu through items. Like, you could be enjoying a really good room and then suddenly X-ray ad, and it just messes up all that momentum.
That is the perfect analogy. Oh man, Maniacal with the Ridley fights, going for the manipulating Ridley, so he's doing the pogo. Behemoth in the room, the Behemoth room. And you saw the placement of the power bomb. It just let him break blocks to a certain point, where he could just jump up the side of the wall there and preserve his momentum, sort of going upwards. I find the positioning of that is really difficult. There's a setup that you can do for that power bomb. By laying it in the ceiling just next to the block there, and you'll get it every time. So I find it impressive when the runners can just do it and know where it is on the ground.
Good job, Maniacal, felling that Space Pelican.
Is that a moonfall from Behemoth there? In the Behemoth room?
Of course. He also had a little Behemoth twerking session right before picking up that missile pack.
Oh my goodness! And this speedball. Oh no, he missed it. That's too bad. But he's going to be going for the
extremely fast. Jeez.
He's going to be going for the Shine Spark, heading through the old Mother Brain room. Maniacal making his way down
Uptown?
through Lower Norfair. That's the one. Uptown through Lower Norfair. Nice little spark from Behemoth.
Yeah, not opting to go with the optimal method, which would be the space jump through, which is a lot more difficult than it should be. Honestly, just sparking through that room, it just saves you time. I'll just say that. Because also a major thing about 100%, because there's so many rooms, if you can opt to go for the fastest but yet still simple strats, do that. Don't complicate your life, because otherwise you're going to be your own worst enemy.
Maniacal freezing the Fire Flea in place so he can get a D-boost and land on it. Saves a little bit of time. Meanwhile, Behemoth going for the 230 missiles? No, the cavity missiles. That's what we call them.
We all know why they're called the cavity missiles, right?
Wow! Look at that mock ball. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's the kind of that mock ball is pretty much you go for it, and if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, you don't.
I think this is interesting from Maniacal going for the power bombs there. I don't know if that's faster, to be honest. I think I usually just bomb going through there. I think using power bombs, you have an animation that takes some time and creates some lag. So I'm not so sure about that one.
Yeah, so again, it's just kind of like the whole thing about maybe it's just a little bit more simple. Just kind of do that and get it out of the way than having to bomb repeatedly or something. Because some things are really just going to feel like preference. Behemoth now just going to take his time to chill. He's watching Maniacal stream. As you can see, he's facing left. So he's kind of mad dogging.
No, to me, it looks like sportsmanship. It looks like he's cheering him on.
That's true.
So he'll be heading through Turian. I think this is probably the hardest section of the game. Just because it's so easy for the Metroids to, be positioned poorly, and you have to cycle through your, you have to freeze them and then shoot them with super missiles, just going back and forth so quickly. The movement itself is not too difficult, but when you combine it with the item selection, I think it just becomes really, really tough. Nice little spring ball from Behemoth. That's a spicy little strategy there. Wow.
Yeah, even pooped out a little bomb in that previous room. Just for swag. But here we go. Behemoth about to unveil a signature strat. pretty much, since this is 100%, and it's a newly unveiled type of baby skip. Ooh, Maniacal barely missing the D boost.
That's too bad. You saw what he's going for there, but unfortunately turned in the air. I haven't seen this strategy from Behemoth yet, so I'm curious as to how it's going to go. Oh my god. Wow. Oh no, he got grabbed! Behemoth!
It's fine. Like, this is gonna, unless he decides to just finish this out with this speed. If you get grabbed during the door transition by the baby Metroid, you pretty much get stuck with that baby speed. But no, wait. He's consulting his lawyers whether he should or should not save. I think he's checking to see if this. Wait.
I think he's letting the Rinkas damage him into the save room there.
No, I think he's trying to fix his internet. It's fine.
I think he's a fair bit ahead, so I don't think he's too worried about that.
Exactly. Okay, the lawyers have given him the go? Wait, what? No, never mind. The lawyer said, don't finish just yet.
I'm unsure as to what's going on. I think he should just save and then reset, right?
Yeah, he can just save, reset.
All right, I didn't want to draw attention to this, but I mean, that must be a bit heartbreaking for Behemoth. That was a personal best pace run.
Oh, was it really?
It was. So no. That's a real shame. I mean, he's in no danger of losing the race. It looks like. Plus
I'm so sorry.
So that is a shame, and I'm sure he's probably not happy about that. But I mean, the race is still going on. Right. He's going to finish up with a really good time here.
I mean, regardless, as you all just witnessed, the fact that he was on world record pace speaks volumes of what type of player Behemoth really, really is.
Here's the thing, though. I think the world records in this game happen frequently enough that if you just keep grinding for it, you keep putting in the effort, you put in the hours, you'll get it eventually. And Behemoth has put in so many hours to this game, so this isn't the run, but I mean, he'll get it eventually. I mean, he already has world records, so where do you go from there, really?
I don't know, Chris. You gotta be better than yourself, you know? Have you ever considered that? You want to be the best you. And the only way you can be the best you is by being better than you.
That's a good point.
I had no logic behind it, so...
It's okay. I wasn't really listening, so... Alright, quality commentators. That's what we sign up for on SpeedGaming 2. So Behemoth, doing the stand-up glitch. Meanwhile, Maniacal going for the Billy Mays room.
What's Maniacal's PB?
It's 123.
It's a mid 123, right?
123.17, so it's a low 123. I think this is on pace.
He's on pace, no doubt. He can do something here. All right, Behemoth finishing up this
Ooh, nice spark from Maniacal. So we saw Behemoth do that one earlier as well. I like that little setup that he did.
And this will be... it really is unfortunate that he got grabbed during the...
Yeah, that looked like the last possible frame. That's a real shame.
But still, he's going to be finishing up with a below 115 time. And yeah, I mean, low 115 is still pretty much ahead of... Still, I think, a top 5 time, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, in fact, it's top 4 time. I mean, with a save and quit, like, that's a heck of a time. It is a little bit heartbreaking, don't get me wrong. But still, I would describe this as an incredible run from Behemoth. Yeah, that's gonna do it for Behemoth with a... What have we got in Deer Tier? Or, excuse me, yes, Speedruns Live. I mean, he's finished on screen with a 1:15:12.
Yeah, he just needs to not done officially. But but he's still, like I said, he's still he's having some troubles. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe he might just be working to log in, because he still has to log in to the IRC chat to .done officially, because that's the time that the tournament is using.
Maniacal mentioning in the SRL channel that he's green at G4, so this could be a BB.
As I figured that he would be. Again, Maniacal playing super solid, some super Metroid on the Super Nintendo Entertainment Super.
Behemoth Nintendo Entertainment System?
Correct.
Oh, and we saw him turn off the screw attack there, which is it's a thing that you can do to speed up these rooms here. But I think it's better if you're going for the Metroid grouping strategies. So I'm a little bit surprised that he's not going for those. Having a little bit of trouble with the item selection. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is why X-Rig is the worst item in the game. So he must have turned off screw attack just so that he could get some sort of Zeb skip later on. I know Maniacal goes for the baby skip as well. So we'll see if he gets it.
Did he get it in the race against you?
Oh, yes, he did. There's a really good clip of us doing it simultaneously. So if you're in the tournament Discord, check out the Clips channel for a good clip of that.
Doing the really safe method, shooting at the little dust bunnies, and nice, keeping up that pace for Maniacal.
Curious to see what sort of Zeb skip he goes for.
Also, another thing about these 100% races, we do have to wait for the credits to finish rolling. Like, although the timer stops, there still has to be some sort of verification, and that is through that 100% screen that we just saw Behemoth. Or that we see on Behemoth screen. So GG to him. And finishing up with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 10 seconds. So GG. Just really wanted to slow down for that one. Alright, and Maniacal is done with his Mother Brain Phase 2, and is bringing his energy down to at least 700, which is just 70 tanks.
Yeah, and he turned off Varia Suit earlier, so that means that he only needs to take a little bit of damage there in order to trigger the stand-up glitch.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, Maniacal being able to pull off a personal best here is still a win in my book. So it would be really cool to get the chance to celebrate that with him.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like it's on pace. If not, very close to it.
Should be.
That's a really nice stand-up as well. I find it's pretty easy to miss a shot or two here and there. But Maniacal getting every single one. So he only has to shoot Mother Brain once, and then she's dead.
Really good stand-up glitch. And yeah, I think, let's find out. Could be close to a 123.
I think it's a low 123. Escape is usually about a minute.
Yep. It's a minute and 10 seconds. That's usually what I go off of. Plus or minus.
Yeah, this is an incredible time for Maniacal. I was chatting with him. Oh, a little bit of a misstep there. I was chatting with him before the race, and he was just saying, you know, there's so much pressure on the runners for these kinds of events, especially when you're playing against someone like Behemoth. When you're in these tournaments, like there's not really an environment like it where you're just forced to play like this for an hour and a half. Nerves are high, and you know it's hard to do well consistently. So. Oh, this looks like it's going to be a PB.
Yeah. Let's go, Maniacal. Bringing it home.
Yep, 10-second PB. Well done, Maniacal. Congratulations. Well done.
Finishing up with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 10 seconds. GG to both runners. Make sure to give them both a follow. We're just awaiting now that confirmation that Maniacal did pick up all the items in the game. That is including the energy drops and the missile drops and the super drops and the power bomb drops and no, I'm just kidding, just items with fanfares. Joining us on commentary right now is Behemoth. Good game to you, good kind sir.
Hello. What's up? Yeah, thank you. It's a good run.
Yeah, no, it really was. You were on pace.
Yeah.
So everyone thought about it. I don't know how you were feeling, or I guess you could actually, use this time to kind of tell us what usually goes through your mind when you're on pace like that, especially in a race setting.
Well, it was a good run. Fantoon gave me the good patterns, and I just went with it, and everything was good. And then I got kicked out the channel for some reason, like the race channel, and that made me a bit like worried about what was going to happen. So, but then the nerves kind of went off the run because of that, and I just carried on playing. And then I got grabbed on the Metroid. It was very unfortunate.
Yeah, we were all.
That was a BS grab. That was, of all time, that was the worst I've ever had.
It didn't look like you got grabbed. I'm not gonna lie. We really genuinely thought that you made it through.
On my TV, I could just tell that it got me. I was like, damn it.
That is the worst.
Anyway, that's close. Yeah.
How often does it happen? Like
that kind of grab happens to me in practice quite a lot, actually. Not in runs so much. I usually just flat out get it wrong, just make a mistake. But I was ahead by like 1 second, so maybe not. Who knows?
Right now, you were showing, stellar movement in every sense of the word and in every sense of gameplay. So really good job. It does suck losing it. I guess shoutouts to the IRC for disconnecting. It kind of got you to.
In a way,
at what point did you disconnect? Yeah.
I should have rejoined the channel earlier. I should have closed it and reopened it, and then pressed .done when I was finished. So I got like a 120. It said.
Yeah, you saw that. Chris, I don't know if you have any questions that you want to ask.
I just want to say it was a heck of a run. That Metroid grab was heartbreaking, but still a good show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's all I got. Let's see if Maniacal got 100%.
Yeah, I just sent I marked them as done right now. You should be in. What's up, Maniacal? Good game.
Yo, Sephi. Thank you. GGB.
The PB,
Hey, Maniacal, what's up?
Oh,
GG.
GG. Sick run, man. I was kind of catching it like half out of the corner of my eye, and so the point where you passed me from what I could see on Restream against my actual play was like cathedral missiles, which was later than I thought it was going to be, to be honest.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I was glad I was keeping the pace. You definitely pushed me pretty hard.
Good.
And
Awesome.
my goal was to be at Green Hill Zone by the time you finished.
Yeah.
And I managed that. I was actually almost at G4, so I felt good about it.
Nice.
At least by the time I saw the done, or by the time I saw it finish on stream, because then of course it didn't happen in SRL until much later.
My bad.
Oh no, I was just gonna like finish my run, but there's no way I was entering a done. Like, you obviously won that, and it would be a travesty if I won this matchup. No, nobody deserves that.
It's all right. It's all good.
I was glad to see a solid run. It looked like we both had good ones.
Yeah, I don't actually watch the stream, but it sounds like you had a really good run anyway. So I like treating it like PB attempts races.
Yeah, that was my goal, and I enraged Fantoon and lost 30 seconds, but still PB'd by 10. So
nice. Oh, you PB?
Oh, yeah, I PB'd by 10 seconds.
Good job.
So I was pretty stoked. 5 golds, so I'll
Wow.
take it. I only have like 50 attempts on these splits, so and I've been working on some strat updates, so some of the golds are pretty free.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah. I mean,
Great race, yeah. 2 good runs. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching it back. I'm sure it was a blast. I saw chat firing off. It looked like Behemoth, you were on PB pace there for a good chunk of it, or at least competitive with it.
Yeah. I mean, 3/4 it was easy PB pace. Well, relatively easy, but then it was kind of close towards Torian. Still a little bit of a chance, but you get grabbed and that's it. That was the end of it.
Yeah,
That's all she wrote.
Yep. Once I got through Skip, I was like, okay, we've got at least a 1 second PB, and I knew that my early Torian was bad in my PB, and I was minus 1.4 at G4. So I was like, okay, as long as I have something that looks like anything serviceable and gets baby Skip, I should have a pretty chunky PB. And I mean, I guess if 10 seconds is chunky at 123, it's not really. But given the 30-second Fantoon time loss, I felt good about it.
PB in a race, though.
Yeah, race PBs are always a really exciting thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, GG. I don't know who you get next in the bracket. Oh wait, no, I think it's the winner of the Duck Fusta or Duck Andrew match that's going on. Like, I guess that's happening Saturday night.
Yeah. I need to look at that sheet again.
yeah. It's all right. You'll put them in their place anyway.
Yeah, I didn't look much past that, but Apathy Duck pointed it out to me that all I had to do was upset you to potentially get to bop him on stream in a race.
Yeah, killer job though. Again, follow both of these runners. I don't know if you have any final comments, any closing statements, anything else that you want to add.
Yeah, I mean, this is the end of the tournament for me, but that was an absolute blast just getting to, basically just throw down a PB attempt on stream because I had no illusion of winning this one. But thank you all for all the support and everything. Really appreciate this. I mean, 100%. It's that or GT Classic is my favorite Super Metroid category. So I love that this is getting showcased at this level. And that there's been such energy and such excitement about it. It's been a blast. Everything from qualifiers through the couple of bracket stages we've seen so far has really generated some amazing races. Like, especially shout out to commentator Christofalo, who had a really just sweet race against me last week. I've enjoyed so many of these races.
Yeah, it was a great race. Yeah. 9 seconds apart. Go watch that, everybody. It's a heck of a race as well.
Yeah, spoilers is that I made it through that one, but it wasn't without a little bit of sweating. But yeah, huge congrats to Behemoth, and good luck in the rest of the tournament, dude. I'm looking forward to moving into the commentator bracket and just enjoying some good races from here on out.
Thank you very much. It's been good racing you, and congrats on your PB as well.
Thank you, appreciate it, and I'm sure the PB is right around the corner for you as well, which will be really exciting.
Hope so.
Yeah, save it for another race, and then we'll see. Yeah. We'll all get to witness it. But yeah, good stuff. Honestly, shout out to you both. Thank you, Christofalo, for commentary.
Yeah, thank you for carrying the commentary here.
And yeah, everyone, SpeedGaming. There's another race going on in another channel. If someone can, we'll probably rate it or something. But enjoy. Have a good night. Sleep well. Especially you two. You guys are staying up late. All right, I'm out. Bye.
See you guys next edition.